Let's go, baby. I just pulled this calf out. That was pretty sick. This thing was big. This calf has gone blind. Really cool, but also kind of sad. It is just before 3 a.m. I had to feel around with the farmer, and it turns out there is a uterine torsion. You don't want the farmer and the farm to have bad things happen, but as a vet student, you want to see as much as possible. So it's kind of always a balance. Well, it's 6 a.m. and I've just got back. They ended up untwisting the uterus, but unfortunately they could not get the calf out, so they opted for a C-section. Spotted this new calf, so I put a collar on it, and that way we know how to identify it. Good morning, happy Monday. It's time for a week as a vet student on a dairy placement. All right, it's 3 p.m. I just got back. I was out really long, way longer than usual. Normally I'm kind of in by 11 because the vet came out. There's a bunch of stuff going on. It was just pretty busy. It's pretty cool though because I got to take some fecal samples of some of the calves. I got to be with a post-mortem. Got to help out with some, IV drip placement and all that sort of thing. So overall, it was really good. I was getting pretty hungry, but then as soon as the vet showed up, all of a sudden the hunger just vanishes because the excitement kind of takes over. So yeah, it was good. That was pretty chill. So she let me get involved and talk to me about what was going on, that sort of thing. So it's pretty good. Now I'm gonna go eat, I guess, breakfast and lunch. All right, it's 4:30 p.m. As you can hear, I'm in the calving shed. I'm gonna feed the calves, so I gotta pour some buckets of milk. All right, it's 6:30. I do the calving check at 7, so let's get ready and get up to the farm. It's so cold. Okay, it's 9 p.m. and I have not vlogged for quite a while because it has been a day, to say the least. So, normal morning routine. I was out there at 7, did the calving check, feed the calves, do all the typical stuff. But a lot of the calves have E. coli, it seems like, so they're basically flat out. We have to feed them. It just makes it a lot of extra work in the morning, takes longer. And at about 12, I went up to the train station to go back into London because I use a loaner laptop from my university, except it locked itself out. So I had to go back to university, return it, and then borrow another one. I got back to the farm about 4 p.m. and then we fed some more calves, and the vet came down and he talked about what he thought was going on, figured out it was E. coli is what he thinks it is. And so we have our treatment plan there, injected some cows with different stuff, and then headed back in for dinner. I had a little meeting with the people that I'm going to run my society with at the university. I'm going out for the 10:30 p.m. calving check, so I'll get you some more clips then because I haven't vlogged too much the rest of the day. All right, it's 10 p.m. so let's head up there because there's some chores I have to do alongside the calving check, so I might as well go up early. This is an example of what I might see when I'm out here on this calving check, and I think I'm gonna have a feel and maybe pull this out. Let's go, baby. I just pulled this calf out. That was pretty sick. This thing was big. Oh my God, I had to put the ropes on and lean my whole body weight to get this thing out. But there it is. I've assisted a cow out here in the field. That feels real good as a vet student to do that. Just on your own at night, pulling a calf out. Yeah, I think if I left that thing and couldn't get it out, it might have died. All right, well, anyway, I'm gonna take these calving ropes off and put a collar on this thing and then spray its navel with some iodine so it doesn't get infected. And then I'll finish my calving check and head on to the other chores for today. All right, well, I finished up with all my chores and the calving check and that sort of thing. I'm gonna head in, shower, head to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, probably around 8 a.m. It's Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. Normally this is my day off, but usually what I do is I just go in the morning, get a couple of hours of work done, and then take the rest of the day off. That's what I'm gonna do today. So I'll get up to the farm and I'll see you probably when I'm back. All right, it's about 11:30. I finished up with work at 10:30 and then I had some breakfast. Now I was debating on whether or not I should edit the vlog from last week or study some cardiovascular stuff. But the thing is, I usually study and do all my high effort work earliest on in the day when I have the most energy. And the vlog editing doesn't really take too much energy, just putting all the stuff into my editing software and getting it uploaded. That's what I'm gonna do for the next few hours. All right, it's 4 p.m. I was watching some YouTube videos on the respiratory system, and now it's time to go and feed the calves. So I'm gonna head down to the calving shed, and I'm gonna put out the milk buckets, do all that sort of thing. All right, it's 7:45. I finished helping out with the calves and feeding them, and then I ate dinner. I just have a couple more respiratory system videos to watch, and then that should get me completed with all the respiratory teaching for next year, for the most part. And then after that, I'll probably head to bed because I'm pretty tired. I gotta get up tomorrow for the 7 a.m. calving check. It's Thursday at 6:30 a.m. I have my calving check at 7, so let's get up to the farm and let's get ready. Okay, it's about 11:30, so I finished up with the morning routine. There's a lot of stuff to do, just the general moving calves around, separating cows and calves and sorting them out and that sort of thing. And right now I've got about 20 minutes before I have to go up for my 12 o'clock calving check. So I think I'm gonna work on some stuff for my society at the university. And I think I'm just gonna get it organized with the committee members and all that sort of stuff. And then I'll see you probably when I get back from that 12 o'clock check, or if anything interesting happens. Good news, it's not that cold today. Spotted this new calf, so I put a collar on it, and that way we know how to identify it.
Oh, what does that mean for the compliance? It's very compliant. It stretches very...
This calf has gone blind. Really cool, but also kind of sad. All right, it's 10:15 p.m. and I have my calving check for 10:30. So I'm gonna head up there now, get up there a bit early, see if there's anything going on. Hopefully it's fairly quiet and I can head back and head to sleep early and sleep in a bit tomorrow because I only have to be up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That being said, if there's anything interesting, I'll update you and I'll take you along with me on my 10:30 p.m. calving check. It's always way too cold for me when I do these night checks. I'm back in the house and it's only 11 p.m. so that was a pretty quick calving check. Now obviously I'm just gonna shower and head to bed and I'll see you tomorrow morning. I gotta be up at the farm around 8 a.m. to help out. It's 8 a.m. Let's have a good day at work. All right, it's 10 a.m. and I'm basically done for the day. I'm gonna go out for the afternoon feeding of the cows and that sort of thing. But other than that, I'll be at home, free to do whatever I want, unless something interesting happens. All right, it's 11 a.m. now. I'm gonna spend the next hour on one of the topics that we're gonna start learning probably about a couple weeks into the term, and that's pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. So I'll watch a few YouTube videos on that. Should take me to about an hour, and then I think I'll go back and review either some cardiovascular stuff or endocrine stuff that I was studying the last couple weeks.
Unchanged form. So, when you give somebody a drug...
All right, it's about 1:30. I ended up studying a bit longer because there were more lectures than I thought on those topics. And then now I'm gonna go eat lunch and edit some of the vlog because I've been putting it off for a while. Actually, I just found out that the schedule tomorrow is gonna be pretty sporadic. They're cutting all the maize, so I'm gonna be going in and out of the house kind of infrequently. And so I definitely won't have time to sit down and get a good study block in. So it makes more sense to set myself up with all the video clips to edit tomorrow and just do that in short bursts. And so I'm just gonna go for a walk because it's really sunny right now and it's gonna be kind of rainy and probably a bit damp later on. All right, it's 4 p.m. All my clips are uploading right now onto my computer. So I'm gonna head up to the calving shed. All right, it's 8:15, so I'm gonna shower and head to bed because tomorrow I'm up early at around 7. And I think we're cutting the maize, so it's gonna be a really, really long day. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday. Let's get up to the farm. All right, it's just before 10 a.m. I don't have to go out until 12 o'clock for the calving check, but my shirt is soaked, so I gotta change that. And then I think I'll eat some breakfast. Well, this is probably the longest break I'll have, so I'm gonna use it to do my studying now. And then the rest of the day, all the little breaks I have will just be editing the vlog. So for the last few days and almost kind of a week, I've just been learning new stuff and I've not actually been going back and reviewing it. Usually under 3 days after I learn a topic, I want to go back and think about it and try to remember what it was talking about and generate some questions and kind of work through the whole topic all at once. And I haven't been doing that, so I got to catch up on that now. So I'm going to be pretty much done learning new stuff until I've gone and reviewed what I've just learned. The way I've been doing that right now is in Notion because I don't have a whiteboard. And pretty much I just think of the main questions I ask myself about the topic. And I ask more questions and more questions and more questions, right? Until I get to the end of my knowledge. And then I'm done and I can go check myself along the way. All right, it's 1 p.m. I finished the 12 o'clock cabin check. Now I'm going to finish the respiratory system studying that I wanted to do. And then after that, I'll probably eat lunch, start editing the vlog. Because after that, it's going to be really back and forth into the house and out of the house. Because they're doing the maze and all this sort of stuff. So by then, I'll just be editing them. It's 4 p.m. right now. It's time to do the cabin check. I tried to do some studying, and I should have finished that topic pretty quick. I didn't even get a chance to start editing, but I'm moving really slow. I'm kind of dragging. Probably didn't eat that much food, but whatever. I can study that later. Gotta edit the vlog the rest of the day. So finish the cabin check, probably go and feed the calves, and then see what amount of time we have left. Depends on how fast the harvest is going. They're harvesting the maize, and I don't really know how long it'll be. And then after that, we'll see how the rest of the night goes. This is not my dinner, but this is what I had for dinner. I'm gonna bring this up to the farmer because he's gonna be working until like midnight harvesting. Good morning and happy Sunday. It's 6:55. I forgot to set an alarm, but luckily I woke up just on time. Let's get to the farm for the 7 o'clock check. All right, it's 11:45. I just got back. We have some extra chores because they've cut all the maize, so we've basically put the maize in. It's called a clamp. Basically, this big pile, and you put a sheet over it so that it can ferment. But I'm done now. And I definitely got to eat some breakfast because I'm so hungry. And I'm going to head back out there. We're going to put another sheet up over another clamp of maize and then back to the normal chores for the day. All right, it's 1 p.m. It's time to head up to the farm again. We're going to put the sheet over the next clamp of all the maize silage and all that. And then I'm going to do the cabin check, see if anything's going on, and probably head back down, or who knows how long that'll take. Okay, it's 4 p.m. I'm putting my wellies on to do the calving check. And the thing is, it's starting to rain now, which is pretty bad because we need the maize or the corn in these giant sheets to be pretty much as dry as we can. We don't want any air in there, any moisture, otherwise it can rot when it's there fermenting for a while. So I've got to get up there and pull this giant sheet over basically a giant pile of corn. 10:30 p.m. Sunday night. It's time for the final cabin check. It is too cold and too windy and too wet for this. But let's go get up there, see what's going on. Well, you know what this means? That means I'm coming out in 2 hours. It's 11:15 p.m. and I know I'm gonna be here for a while because I have to get back out there at like 1 a.m. Anytime you see a cow with a water bag poking out, you have to come back in about 2 hours to see if it's calving along fine. And so for me, that means at 1 a.m. I'm going back out there again to check, and hopefully it pushes it out on its own pretty easily, and I can just head right back in and go to bed. But you never know. You could always have the situation where you go out there and more stuff is happening and you just end up there all night. So we'll see how it goes. Right now I'm just gonna eat my PB&J bagel, and then I'm gonna fill out an application for something and maybe edit the vlog if I have time. Well, it is 1:30 a.m. and the cow that had a water bag 2.5 hours ago has made no progress, so we've got to get her in. I had to call the farmer, so he's gonna come out here and we're gonna get her in and pull this thing out. It is just before 3 a.m. I had to feel around with the farmer, and it turns out there is a uterine torsion, so a twisted uterus. That means the vets are coming out now. The on-call vets are gonna be here in, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And realistically, we're gonna try to roll her around and untwist the uterus. If it doesn't work, it's gonna be a C-section. So it's pretty sick for me as a vet student to be able to see this stuff. I always feel really weird when things like this happen because you don't want the farmer and the farm to have bad things happen and need to call out the vet and spend the money and risk all the, to have to deal with all that. But as a vet student, you want to see as much as possible. So it's kind of always a balance. I'm gonna prepare some stuff in anticipation of the C-section for the vets. So some hot water, cold water, a table for their surgical supplies and all that. Before the vets get here, I'm going to read as much as I can about uterine torsion. Well, it's 6 a.m. and I've just got back. They ended up untwisting the uterus, but unfortunately they could not get the calf out, so they opted for a C-section. It was pretty cool to watch. The vets were really good at explaining what they were doing the whole time and trying to get me involved in whatever way possible. Either that's, just filling up buckets with warm water for them to wash off with, or doing some other more meaningful stuff. Pulling the calf out from the side of the C-section. So with the cows, they make the C-section incision basically like off to the side on the left, and then once they cut into the uterus, get a hold of the calf's hands and you pull it out. And the thing was pretty big. They had to make a large incision, so stitching it up and suturing took a while, but we're done. It was pretty cool to watch. It's always great to have opportunities like that where you get to see the vets doing stuff, and at the same time, you don't really want too much to happen to the farmer's stock, but then it seemed to work out fine. I would just keep an eye on her. The good thing is I don't think I'll be going into work until in the afternoon today. One of the herdsmen is already up at 4 a.m. milking, so I saw him and he told me, yeah, you're good, you can just sleep. So that's what I'm gonna do. Get a shower and head to bed and hopefully get to sleep before it becomes bright.
Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light.